que não tem aqui o nome, porque eu entrei com a conta da AE. Eu sou a Pedagogia e Empreendedorismo. Olá. Bem, se calhar, como nós tivemos alguns inscritos em inglês, pronto, tal como vocês já sabem, vamos começar então, se calhar, a fazer esta transição, não é, para o inglês.
Sorry, completely forgot.
Exato. Good afternoon. Welcome to another FEUPTalk organized by IFEUP. This time we count with the presence of Luís Miguel Cerqueira, Attraction Leader, and Paulo Souza, Software Engineering Tech Lead. SaltPay Group also owns SaltPay Iceland IBB, one of the oldest Icelandic credit financial institutions, specializing in secure payments and with almost 40 years of activity. To know more of this group and its activity, I'll start by passing the word to Luís and Paulo Souza, and they will tell us more about SaltPay and the Rosa with Bacalhau. Agora a sério. Now for real, I'll pass the word to you.
10 points to Pedagogia.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. So now we can speak in English because it's going to be easier. And I just have 2 full cups of coffee, so this is going to be promising. Ines, can you share the presentation, please? So basically, first of all, thank you for everyone that is listening to us and that is interested enough in listening to us today. So I want these presentations. Normally, when I was a student, when I was back there, listening to companies and listening to a lot of things, the majority of the conversations were one-sided and it were super boring. And I intend things not to be that boring to everyone that is listening. So if you want to stop, ask. If you want to convey some sort of conversation or topic, it's fine. We can do it. We're going to have a little time in the end for you to question and to talk about. It's fine. But if you want to do it meanwhile, feel free to do it. So quick presentations. I am Luis, 27. I'm from Porto. I work in the people team, and I need to do something around the naming of my function. But for SaltPay, namings and roles in functions is something that doesn't matter. So I'm the attraction leader. That doesn't mean that I need to seduce anyone. That means that I need to attract very good people to work with us and to engage with the company and to really understand what is our mission and what is our purpose and what we're trying to do and trying to build and what is our culture and things like that. So basically, this is the thing. This is what I do every day. I wake up and I enjoy having long talks with lots of students everywhere and other things also. Sorry, I'm very serious about my job because this is very professional. Meanwhile, I have Paulo. Paulo, do you want to present yourself? No.
Very quickly, Paulo Souza, 33 already, and software engineering tech lead, whatever that means, honestly. I'm working in a very specific team inside of SaltPay that's called Integration Hub. And so our kind of goal and what we're trying to do is to create a nice developer environment for everyone that wants to use SaltPay as a product. And that's it. You can ask me what I do in the questions, because that would be boring to answer right now.
Yeah, I would like to know also. I'm joking. Ines, you want to talk a bit?
Yeah, I can also talk. So I'm Ines. I have 25 years old. I'm part of Luis' team. So I work in attraction, mostly in tech attraction, and that's it.
Wow.
About me, yeah.
That was deep. Can we go further, please?
Yeah. Let me just mute myself.
I would appreciate it. Thank you. So everyone, SaltPay. What is SaltPay and who are we? So basically, let me go back to 2019. We're a company that was founded in 2019 by 3 amazing founders. 3 amazing founders with lots of expertise regarding payments, fintech, investment banking, financial markets, you name it. Everything that is related to finance and to payments, these guys have done it, have seen it grow, have scaled it. They have done everything around it. So basically, when we talk about SaltPay, we talk about a company that is a fintech. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows what is a fintech, but if someone doesn't know, it's a company it's a technological company that focuses on the finance sector. We focus specifically on the payment sector, but we are actually scaling the product into other areas that Paul will get there eventually. So basically, SaltPay was founded in 2019. It was founded by 3 amazing founders, 2 of them Brazilian. They have founded a couple of companies before, some of them regarding also the payment sector. They all grew. And basically, the mission that SaltPay has is differentiated. Why? As you can see, and as everyone can read, we exist to provide the care and technology that arms entrepreneurs with the power to win. This is super poetic and super beautiful, but what does it mean correctly? What does it mean to work in the payment sector? What do we do? So imagine that when you look to the entire finance, to the entire European territory, what you have is that you have a full wide of immensity of countries that have, all of them, payment systems. All of them have businesses, all of them have companies. Ines, can you move forward? Okay, so nowadays, this is our footprint. What happens nowadays is that we have, historically, the payment sector has been ruled by big banking associated with big corporations. When I say big corporations, I mean big schemes. That means Visa, MasterCard, American Express. What happened in this area throughout the years is that the banks understood that they could have the monopoly of the entire market if they worked very close to these corporations, to all of these big corporations, big financial institutions. So that's when we have a complete monopoly of the banking sector over the payments market. What happens when you have a ruling of someone through a market, a monopoly from someone through a market through 20 to 30 years, is that normally the product quality starts decreasing. When we look into the European Union and European territory, actually, and we understand what is going on in the payment sector, we understand that, first of all, 99% of the companies that exist in our territory, in European territory, are SMBs, small and medium businesses. And when I say small and medium businesses, I'm talking about Senhor João from the bakery, Senhor Paulo from the restaurant, Senhor Pedro from the tire shop, or Dona Alcina from the flower shop, Dona Alcina from the library. A lot of different things, a lot of different merchants, they all have different needs. And we're talking about very small and particular businesses that we know and that we go through in our days. Software providers nowadays are completely oriented to that 1% where we have the big profitability, the big space in the market, the big players. And no one is paying attention to what we feel that is the nowadays SME, the small entrepreneur. And that's why we decided that this is a huge opportunity, the huge market opportunity for SaltPay to act on. So basically, we started growing our product, and we start growing our product not only to solve the issue on the acquiring side, that is on the terminal side, on the payment side, but also to engage into more and broader solutions. What is our goal here? When we say that we want to empower small and medium businesses, small and medium merchants, what we're trying to tell you is that we want to utilize technology, and we want to provide technological solutions to people and to entrepreneurs and to business owners that normally would not have access to it. Normally, they don't have access to this because the costs are very high, because they don't know how to work with it. So the idea is that we are trying to build a solution that can cover the entirety end-to-end problem and need of the day-to-day small and medium business owner. Ines, can you go back? Thank you. Bruno, I'm going to mute you. Thank you. I'm not going to go a little bit back, please. A little bit back. You're way ahead of everything. Back, one step ahead. One step below. Okay, sorry, Inez, I had the 2 coffees, but Inez is running. So basically, when we look at SaltPay and when we think about our solution, we decided that, okay, this is a huge market opportunity. We need to empower these SMBs. We need to be the solution that everyone is looking for, and we want to be the main player and the main provider. So think of this way. Let me put it in a practical case because it's the best way for us to understand. Imagine that I have an hairdresser. I'm an hairdresser, I have a salon, and I want to have a terminal where my clients can come and can pay their haircuts, their nails, whatever it is. Okay, so they can use SaltPay's terminal. What is good about SaltPay's terminal? The software is high-end technology, is better. The hardware is okay. There are no fees and hidden fees, and we all have the fees that we have are completely the same for all transactions. So what happens is that the product itself, the terminal itself, it adds value on its own. But then we thought, when we think about a lot of different businesses, and SMBs can be very different businesses. It can be a coffee shop, it can be a restaurant, it can be a salon. They all have different needs. So what we decided to do is, okay, let's try to focus on one thing. That is, if I really want to empower them, why should I only be empowering them through acquiring? Why not build a broader solution that can tackle a lot of different issues, a lot of different problems? That's when we decided that, okay, we want to be a one-stop show for everyone. Paul is getting there. I'm not going to get very much into that because Paul is going to explain that much better than I can. Nowadays, where is SaltPay? What are we trying to do as a company? Where are we at this point? We started with 10 people around, I don't know, 10 people more or less around the end of 2019. We have been operating in the market officially since August 2020. We started more or less with 10 people. By the end of 2020, we were close to 100. Nowadays, we are more than 1,400 across 14 countries with more or less 14 offices. How did this happen? How do you get from 100 people to 1,400 in a year with COVID-19? We're crazy. That's one thing. And we work a lot. That's another thing. Yes, but the main thing is that we grow very organically and inorganically. When I say that we grow organically because we hire a lot, because we try to hire a lot. But inorganically also because we understood that in order to build all this platform and all these products that I've been talking to you, maybe in a very confusing way, but afterwards you can clarify all of the things that you want to clarify. What we decided was that in order to create this platform, we had 2 ways. We could hire a battalion of developers and take 7 years, 8 years in order to build everything. Or we could go directly to the market and try to understand who already knows the market, who is doing this in a very cool way, and who we want to join us in the most beautiful way that we can. So, okay, that's what we did. And that's when we decided to have a very long M&A strategy, mergers and acquisitions. So we started acquiring a couple of companies. We acquired more or less 12 companies over the last year, each one of them with their specific product, service, or something else that is going to add value to the product itself. Well, I think that for now I gave you like too much information. So I'm gonna let Paulo talk a bit about the product, and then we can go around and you can have a lot of questions because I know you're going to have, because it's super confusing all the time. But it's fine, no worries. I'm gonna Inez, can we advance to our answer, please?
Now you want to advance. Yeah, of course.
Paulo.
You can move one slide ahead, please. Yeah, the thing is what exactly where kind of Luis led us to. So we've been buying lots of companies in different parts, but mostly related with acquiring. So that's the starting point of this road. But it's inverted. So we start on the top of the slide and we'll come back to the bottom of the slide. But the idea is that we'll build a product on acquiring, which will provide benefits for the merchant. So as Luis said, better software than what they had, funnier looking terminals at once that you find in Portugal, right? Those terminals that sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And then you also build in, on the tech side, you build in a way for us to be able to offer to the merchant something that is transparent in terms of what they need to pay us. Just for you guys to get an idea, so there's different ways to do that. The market currently is doing this, and sometimes you are paying by your cards because you just took a coffee, and the merchant itself doesn't know exactly how much of that coffee that you just paid would get back, because it can go through different things. What kind of card you use, what kind of scheme it's used, what kind of processor it goes through. So we're trying to cut all of that out of the process and provide value for the merchant. And that's, let's call it our entry point, because we don't want to stop there, right? We want to be a one-stop shop. So that means we want to provide the full value. So if you go through the coffee, let's go besides the coffee, it's too easy. Let's go to a restaurant. So a restaurant has to manage booking. Why do you need to have two kinds of software, one for paying, one for booking? Why can't you have both in one place? And then if you think through, you have also those loyalty programs. So you are from FEUP, so probably you go to, if there was no COVID, you go to the nearest shopping thing. There's like a restaurant there that by the 10th time that you go there, they will offer you a free meal. But there's also something on the side. So they have now something for you to pay, something for you to book a meal, and then something for loyalty. So the idea is to start to grow our product base so that we can achieve all of those products in one place, that is SaltPay. And Maria, can you move to the next one? So the idea is something like this, a unified suite with some nice UI, as you can see, some nice interface. In here you see honestly you see 3 different products. I didn't, on the smaller screen you see the loyalty program, then you have the terminal, and then on the bigger one you see what a merchant can see. What are the things that he sold today, how much did he sold today, how many sales did he do, and a bunch of reporting information. This is still very focused on the acquiring and with a slightly bit of loyalty built in. Can we move into the next one? And this is kind of your sales pitch thing for investors. That will be how we will produce value, because this also means that as we offer more value, we can also ask more value in terms of what we'll get in terms of revenue from the merchants. And that's the idea. So to be able to offer, but also to be able to, for that, drive revenue. And Maria, one more. And now you can see the full picture. I think this is one of the best slides for us to look at into the full picture, that is the 3 kind of places that we'll be acting. One of these is acceptance. As we said, acquiring at this point, it's pretty much being able to accept payments for a merchant. Then you have everything else that is on the side that is on automation. So being able to keep a wallet, being able to have an EPOS, that is an electronic point of sale, being able to offer management software for stock inventory, even the way that you book tables or reservations, you can think on have that. And then acceleration, you can go into lending, ordering, delivering. So in a way that you can provide services at a low cost for a merchant, and in a way that is unified. If you ever ask them, and if you ever go into this industry of different softwares and integrations, you'll understand that there's sometimes crazy things. So there's companies paying 90% for the integration and 10% for the actual software. So what we are saying is that a company produces software and is asking for someone that is buying to pay 10% just for the software, for the added value, and 90% just for the ability to be able to use that software with the stuff that they currently have on their shop. When what we want to do and what we propose ourselves to do by using technology is to take that hassle out of the way. And next slide. And this is a very good view of the fragmentation that we have in terms of market and the number of things that we will be trying to do we are trying to do now and we'll be trying to do over the next years. You can see there stuff that you may know, like Uber. I think there's a few that you may know, and you see there stuff that you probably never heard of, But this is the market we're trying to tackle with the different areas that we'll be trying to tackle. And now let's focus on how we're going to do it, or how we are looking into doing it, because that's actually, I think, where my drive is and my passion lies in. Can we move into there then, Maria? Next slide. Oh no, we have this one. Yeah, this is just a timeline of stuff that we bought along the way. As Luis was saying, we needed to build this very quickly, and we needed to sometimes also add some of the capabilities in terms of business. As Pedagogia said at the start, we mentioned to our Iceland 44 years or 40 years Iceland institution. That was one of the first that we bought. So it was where we got our license to be able to operate as acquirer. So those are kind of things that we are trying to do. So we can, and it's a fairly standard strategy in technology world nowadays. You can either build it or buy it, and those are the kind of options that we take on a daily basis. Sometimes we buy it because it's simple, it's faster. We have someone that we like to work with that has already a good product. Sometimes, we are not Icelandic. No, very important. I'll highlight then that our SaltPay is actually based in London, and then we have an office in Iceland. Our license to operate as an acquirer, that is someone that is part of the transaction process, is actually from Iceland, but we are actually based in London. And we have stuff based in Portugal. I don't know, many of you may remember as Pagaqui, which was a Portuguese brand for a few years. They are now kind of known also for the voucher program. So they were also bought somewhere in 2020s. So they are part of the group. And the other ones, I could read the names, but they won't say anything for you. But mostly they are solving a piece of that big puzzle. So one of those many different things that we want to tackle, they are focusing on one of them. For example, YoYo is focusing on loyalty. So those loyalty programs, so knowing your customer, so managing your relationship with your customer and offering that kind of service to the merchant, that's what they do. So that's why also they are part of the group. Can we move one slide? Now actually to the why us. This is the important part that I want to highlight. And the important part of how we want to make this happen and why do we exist? Well, we exist to serve the merchant, and this is the important part. We exist because we want to create clearly a difference. We think there's a space to better serve the merchant, to kind of, I loved once a sentence that I heard, I think during my onboarding week, that was to level the playing field. You know, you have one place, you have those big brands with lots of money, with lots of integrations, everything ready out of the box. And the other side, you have people competing that only have the bare basics. So we want to be able to offer them more in an easier way. And that's what the thing. That's why we are as also hard workers, very outcome driven and entrepreneurs. And we drive ourselves through very simple values. I'll try it. Maria will show you on the next slide, and I'll try to simplify them because there's like 9 things on this slide. It's too much. I think you can go through 2 main things. At least I like to go through 2 main things. We are tech savvy, so we love technology. We are, in a way, we are lazy people. So we don't want to do the boring stuff. So we want to automate those things. We want to use technology to make our life easier, and we want to use technology to make our merchants' life easier. And then one of the things that actually it's very important is we deeply care about each other. And it's not deeply caring in a way that you sugarcoat stuff, because sugarcoating it's not deeply caring. We deeply care about each other in a way that we push each other forward so that we can embrace new things, so that we can get stuff done. And so those are kind of the 2 main things that we could highlight out of these 9 that you can ask and the question, and we can get through the 9. And then this leads us to technology, Maria. Yeah, so all is well, all is nice. We bought a lot, we do shiny things, but as you can imagine, out of the hell that is buying those kind of brands and trying to develop this, one of the most important things that we are trying to do at this point is to build the right technology to leverage our group. So we want to offer technology as a product. That's what we do. it's fintech. So technology is the ground basis of everything that we'll be doing in the future. It's the ground basis of the added value that we want to provide to the merchant. But we need to get it right. So we need to get foundations right. And that's what we are trying to do at the moment. One of the things we built last year, in around 6 months, we built our new platform. So on a new infrastructure platform to run this with a bunch of pretty shiny things that you can see there. You can ask me what they are used if you are interested, because there's very technical related things here. But everything is cloud-based, Kubernetes, standards, market standard or market leading technologies being used. It's very interesting if you want to ask that after. And then to develop our products, can you move one slide ahead, Maria? To develop our products, there's also a bunch of things here. I just want to highlight not the technology itself, but one important thing. If you are from the software engineering part, you'll notice that on the middle, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that actually may do the same thing. And that's also something that we strive upon. It's not actually doing complexity by adding complexity, but actually giving freedom to the teams. So we work in teams and we give freedom to those teams to decide how to best tackle their problems. They decide that that's the way to go. They will follow a set of guardrails. So yeah, we set some rules, but inside of those rules, they can do it as they feel it, just making sure that they keep up our customer in mind, our merchant in mind. And that's the idea. And finally, some of the ways of working, I think it's pretty standard. We like pairing, we like moving, we like everything that is on the extreme programming part. We love to give feedback. We try to balance out teams, so we try to have a way where we can use the expertise of people that are more senior, have more experience, with the energy of people that are more junior, so that we can use that balance to drive value. We usually take fast decisions. We don't like to stop and analyzing a problem for a few years before raising the decision. We need to move fast. We understand that that has a cost, but you take a decision with whatever you know now. If it's wrong in 1 year, we will evaluate and we fix it. And yeah, and smart structure, yeah, it's not really that much into structure. It's more into achieving things and moving forward. So, and that's it. I think that's a very good overview of it. Maria, last slide. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a very good overview, a very fast overview also. Guys, I know it's a lot of information. I know how crazy SaltPay can look and can sound, because it's a lot of companies, a lot of stack, a lot of things at the same time, a lot of movement, a lot of things. It's a lot of, generally speaking. So now I wanted to hear a bit about your questions and doubts, because I know that you must have some. And it's fine. It's supposed to happen. Just let us answer. So, questions.
Hello, everybody. We now reserve some time for questions of students. So. Anyone?
I actually had a question, but I just forgot. So I'm trying to remember. It was about, and I know it was about the thing that you were saying about the company in London or in England. Mm-hmm. I didn't quite understand. Like the offices that you have, okay, and if you work with all the companies that you have from all the offices, or in one country specifically.
Okay. I can answer that. So what happened is that we founded the company in London. That was the first office that we had. When we founded the company in London, we decided that, okay, this is our approach. This is the idea of the product that we want to build. Mm-hmm. So what is going to be our approach in order to achieve this? So we always start working like this. This is the goal that we have. This is the top premium thing that we want to have. How do we get there? This is our way on how we approach work and how we approach problems. Okay, based on that, we decided, okay, this is going to be our strategy. We're going to have a strategy that is going to be heavily based on M&A. So I want to have the story. I'm going to find out the companies that have products, services, or tools that will help us ignite and achieve this main product that I want to achieve. Then we started connecting with a lot of different companies, and these companies are situated in different countries. We have nowadays physical offices. We have in Porto, Lisbon, London, Reykjavik in Iceland, Hungary, yes.
Budapest.
Yes, Budapest. Prague in Czech Republic, and Bratislava in Slovakia. And then we have South Africa also in Cape Town. Then we have some companies that we acquired. They add special teams that were working in different offices. Like we have a team that is working in Athens. We have another one that is working in Nepal. We have another one. So there's a lot of teams that are a bit scattered, but are smaller teams. The main offices that we have are around 8, 9, and they are all focused on Europe, in big cities in Europe. We are planning on opening a couple more this year and next year, but that's still something to wait for. What we're starting to do is that when you integrate a company, now imagine that we acquired Pagaqui. Okay, we actually integrate the company within the SaltPay group. So there's a lot of people that are going to still be focusing on bill payments. That is a product from Pagaqui. But then the team starts connecting with the rest of the teams, and we're sort of creating a global company that has different verticals for different products, different needs, and different stages of the product. But I don't know, Paul, do you want to complement?
Oh, that's mostly it. But to your question, Tlagogia, because I don't know your name. Tlagogia is amazing. Inês. Inês, to your point, we work as a team, across all of these locations.
Okay,
imagine
so it's more like a global thing. Okay.
Yeah. So imagine my team. I work with a fairly small team that has 10 people, but I have people in Porto. I have someone at the moment that is in London. I have someone that is working from Lisbon. I have people in Cape Town, and I have people in Nigeria, which is not there, but we have people there. So, and that as a team. And if I go outside of the scope of my team, in my day-to-day interactions, I usually interact with people from the different offices and the different teams. So it's kind of a very
So in the same project, in a certain company, you have people from other offices also working and giving inputs.
Almost in every team. I risk to say in every team, actually, because we think there's two things that we like. We like to be a multicultural environment, and we like to have this multicultural environment because then the approach that people have towards work is going to be different. That's one thing. The other thing is we like to promote people to engage with each other. So it's part of our culture, and it's quite normal that everyone travels a lot. Everyone travels a lot in this company. Everyone goes from one point to the other because we feel that it's okay to work remotely. We're remote friendly, but there's a point and stage that we like to have everyone back in the office, everyone working together, everyone visiting other realities. Because think about this way: you are building a product, and you are building a product with different realities from different countries. So I'm very interested to have that opinion and that view and perspective from other countries all over the same products. Because the way that we conduct the construction of a product in Portugal, it's not the same way, and it's going to be as effective, for example, in Iceland. So to have this multicultural environment and to have people from everywhere connecting and participating, it's going to be more and more fulfilling for the product for our product in the end.
Yes, of course.
So we have this policy.
Makes sense.
It's quite like
come up with a solution that basically fills in the gaps in various countries and various cultures.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
More questions?
You want to know what it's like to work with us? For example, what can you expect?
You want to know how is to work with Luis? So you have more 1 hour? I can talk.
No, I can explain a bit. I don't know if anyone has other question. If not, I'm going to start inventing questions because I don't know.
I just had that one question about the work that you were talking about, kind of work environment that we can expect. I think that everyone understood a lot of work, a lot of everything, a lot of traveling, multicultural products.
And environments and everything.
Environments.
So I can deep dive into that. There's a thing about SaltPay. SaltPay is not a company that is conducted around profitability. It's not a company that is conducted around big visions of corporate visions. We are completely focused on our product. We are completely focused on our customer. Customer centricity is the biggest thing that we have at SaltPay. And in order for you to achieve this customer-centric attitude for everyone, you need to focus on one of the primal things that we have, that is culture. Our culture is everything. And when we think about our culture, we think of our culture this way. If any individual in the company, from the field agent that is talking directly, trying to sell our product to the merchant, to the big guy taking the shots and making decisions with their team on the office, to everyone that works and adds value to the company, if any of these guys takes an action towards their work and what they do within the company culture, then it will be hard for him to fail and to miss. And what is this company culture that we're trying to build? We're trying to build a safe space for everyone, where everyone can and should question things. We have a very flat hierarchy because we don't believe that roles and a lot of structure is going to improve us. We believe that people being honest and being direct and being very straight to the point and being very focused on constructive feedback is the best way for you to build and to scale a team. So we generate a lot of moments, and we try to generate a lot of moments where people can have open-hearted conversations, feedbacks. For example, every week we gather the entire company, all the people that I see here. We gather the entire company on a Zoom call for 1 hour and a half, where we go and we discuss around different points, different projects of the company, different programs that we're building, different problems with products, whatever it is. And then we have always a part of this talk that is what we call the real talk, where you can submit questions in a forum. You vote for the questions that you want to be answered, and the questions are answered in local by our CEOs, by Ali and Edu. So this keeps a lot of transparency in the air and gives you a lot of guidance, sometimes indirect guidance, because if you know that your leadership is going and is aiming to take the company to this way, then you're going to start working towards that way. The other thing that we do is that we encourage everyone to feel like an owner of the company. If you feel like an owner of the company, and if you have a part of that as soon as you join the company, your work will be impacted by it, because you will get pissed. You'll get passionate about what you do. You'll get pissed if something is not going up to the plan. If Paulo is not delivering good results, then I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to understand what is going wrong. How can I help? How can we solve this? And it's this environment of ownership, of extreme ownership, of preferring to have energy over experience. We don't want to have a bunch of guys with 25 years of experience. We want to have the right amount of guys with the right mindset, with the right culture, that have experience because they have experience, and that's fine because they need it. But we also want to have the junior guys and the mid guys that just want to learn and want to engage and want to challenge themselves into going the extra mile, to going to other places. So there's a bit of this environment that we want to foster. That is an environment of learning, of questioning a lot. We believe that questioning is one of the biggest things that you can do, and it always helps us to be on guard around everything. So there's a lot of these attitudes and these small DNA traits that we have that are actually pretty common in the people in the company. And sometimes it might be a bit shocking for someone from an outsider. The first 3 months, it's always like a huge
roller coaster.
Yeah, a huge roller coaster for everyone. Because I used to say that 1 week at SaltPay the same as 3 years in the life of a human, because it's a lot of information, a lot of time, and it's a lot of movement, a lot of dynamics, a lot of changes. Like this is the thing that we're doing this month, but in the next month we already evolved for another thing. Because when you have everyone working around you with a lot of extreme ownership, with ability of making decisions and taking decisions without waiting for approvals and without waiting for all the bureaucratic structure that we're normally used to in Portugal, for example, the things scale at a very faster pace. And it's okay. And you learn a lot. And you'll do a lot of shit, a lot of time. It's normal. It's expected. And it's fine as long as you learn from it. And that's it. That's my sermon for today. I wait to see you next Sunday on church. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a very, very good point on that Luis made. That is, you shouldn't. So this is probably when you discussed work and amount of work and also learning, and the way that most companies approach it, and the most companies you'll see in the market approach it is by having someone that will tell you how to do stuff and what to do. Don't expect that. Expect us to give you a direction and give you freedom to figure what needs to be done and how to do it. Obviously, but we are working for a few years on this field. If you have an issue, you don't know how to, you can discuss it. You are open to discuss it. But at the end of the day, what we want to foster is an environment where everyone can learn, everyone can take options. And you're not here to be told what to do, right? You don't hire bright people to tell them exactly what they need to do today. You hire bright people to give them a problem and let them solve them. And that's what we try to do on a daily basis. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. But we'll learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, it's heavily frustrating sometimes because the majority of times I'm not very sure if I'm going the right direction or not. Am I doing this right or not? I just try. I try and error, and it's fine. It's super cool, and you get used to it a lot, and it's quite the life-changing experience. I'm not saying that we're the best company to work. We're far from that. Sorry, we do a lot of shit every day, and we still need to learn a lot, and we still need to create a lot, and we still need to construct a lot of things. This is the reality. There are some days that I want to just pick my laptop and shove it in someone's face, but it's normal. It's supposed to. That's how you grow a business, because everyone is very passionate about what they do. And when you're very passionate about what you do and about your work and about your company, the results that you achieve are very important. So I guess that if you're looking for an experience that is going to stretch you out and is going to put you out of your comfort zone on a daily basis for real, and when I say out of your comfort zone, I really mean out of your comfort zone, then we're the place. If you want something more structured and more designed per se, then we're not the challenge for you. And it's fine. We need very different people everywhere. But for us, I think only like people with very strong opinions that like to question and are...
They want to learn. They want to learn.
Yes.
They want to be challenged and want to challenge.
And want to challenge. And a tiny bit of rebels. It's fine. I'm encouraging the rebels to apply. I don't know. Is anyone want to ask anything else? Comment? Just tell me to shut up. Oh, I have Raquel. Wanted to ask you what you value most about SaltPay and what was your biggest setback, personally or as a company? I'll get you to answer that. But the thing that I value the most about SaltPay, I think that's this year. I'm working at SaltPay for a year now. I think that this was the year that I had the biggest change as a human being and as a professional. As a professional, because I started redesigning and rethinking all the things that I've learned previous in my life and started to challenge more and more the things that I've learned, even in college. I think that nowadays, my opinion is you learn to talk about things in college, and then you go back to the workplace and you start challenging everything that you've learned in college. And that's basically where I'm standing at the moment. I think that the thing that I value the most is going to be the culture and the people. the culture, because I always felt like a misfit in all of the companies that I work, in all of the groups that I've joined, because I've always was very direct and very open-minded and very well, I always speak the way I feel, literally, and sometimes it gets in the way of a lot of relations that I have, mainly work relations. But I guess that I found my place here. So the culture that I have, that challenges me, that makes me be a better version of myself, that's one thing that I love. The other thing is the fact that I'm working with a bunch of crazy people, completely different from one another, with completely different backgrounds, but we're all going for the same mission. And the people that we have is the best thing that I have around the company. It's not yet the product yet. It's not the benefits. It's not the free coffee and free snacks and free drinks on Friday and free pizza on Friday. It's not that. It's the chance of working with people like Paulo or Inês or other people around that might be listening to us right now. This is what moves me. It's the people that we have. The biggest setback that we have as a company is that we are hyper fast when it comes to grow, and sometimes it's hard to keep the everything at the same pace. I think for me, this was the biggest setback that we have, because we grew a lot very fast. So in some things we are very pros, very big, and we are like, okay, going on, fighting for it. But on some other things, we are like smaller babies, giving our little steps, baby steps, each of the time. So sometimes it's a bit confusing and a bit conflicting. Like, why don't you guys do this and have this already built when you have a company with 1,400 people? Well, it happens. It happens when you scale that fast. And there's a lot of growth pain. I don't consider this to be a setback. I consider this more to be a consequence of a very heavily growth strategy. But at the same time, it works as a setback, I guess. Paulo, I don't know if you want to pitch in.
I don't have any setbacks yet. And that the reason is I'm still too young at the company at this point. But in terms of values, it's what I value. It's still hard to answer you, Raquel, because it's like 1 month and 5 days since I joined. So, but I'll give you something that is why I've changed.
Although I'm older than you in the company. Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I'm just, I started in December, but yeah.
Such a baby.
But why I moved? So I've done software engineering for over 10 years at this point. So I've got some experience. I've gone through a fair share of companies. I've gone through a fair share of challenges. And the thing I value the most, and I found here, that's why I moved, it's the ability to make yourself heard, right? In most of the companies, sometimes you have to fit it into a box that is your job, your function, and you have to do what's defined in that box. And sometimes to get something done, you have to go through a set of layers of management or bureaucracy, or you have to get that approved. And so I've choose to join a place where, well, I have some things that are expected of me, but I have pretty much freedom to achieve them in any way. So if I need to do stuff, I'll do stuff. I'll ask sorry. I say sorry before I say, can I do it? Which is very important for me, so I can go after things. And I don't need to ask approval for everyone in the company to get something done. So I just go after it. And that's for me, after 10 years, is still the way you learn. It's going after it. It's setting a goal that is neither too hard that will make you work like crazy, but neither too soft that you won't feel challenged, and going after it with your team. And that's it.
Yep. I don't know. Any more questions? Yeah.
Maybe Luis, you can speak just 1 minute about our summer scheme, because the application ends tomorrow.
Okay, guys, if you want to have a little bit of taste of what is like this life that we have back at SaltPay and the way that we do things and the way that we work, we have a program that we are already we have been publicizing it for a while. It's our summer scheme. So basically it's around It's a 10-week internship for the summer where you can work in different teams regarding tech, on this case, or on other teams if you're interested in other parts of the business. So basically what we do is that you go through like a selection process, let's put it this way, with an assessment and a couple of interviews, like 1 or 2 interviews. And then based on that, we define how good would your profile be in some of our teams. So basically based on the assessment that we do on your profile, if you're more cleaning to go into this position or that position, this area, that area, if you're more interested in the product wise, if you're more interested in data, I don't know, let's see. Based on this, we have a couple of projects that are already designed by our leaders. And then we call you and they say, like, for example, hey, Rui, thank you for applying for a summer scheme. We want to give you a project. The project is this one during 10 weeks on our Porto office. What do you think? And it's fine. And during these 10 weeks, you're going to be treated as a Salter 200%. You have the onboarding and then you start just going through everything. You have 10 weeks to create a project, to defend this project and to implement it on the company for real. So it's a couple of things. It's quite the real life experience, because we don't do any differentiation between you being a summer schemer or not. You're part of the team. You're going to work. You're going to show results, and you're going to have access to everything as we have. I don't know. I have a couple. We had more or less 60 people. Yes, last year. It was super cool. Everyone liked it. It's the first time that we're doing back in Portugal. It's the first time in the Porto office, which, by the way, is the most beautiful office in the company. Not that because it's mine, but because it is. Feel free to check the pictures. And I think it's a great opportunity for anyone that is trying to learn a lot and is trying to engage in a real-time experience. So anyone that is interested, all the applications, and tomorrow, I know it's a bit short notice, but the process, it goes between February and March. You get the answer around the beginning of March, more or less, and then you're already ready to go on those dates in August to work with us. Ta-da.
No more questions.
I have something here. It's a question. Thank you for the answers. No, thank you, Raquel, for
Okay. This is how we finish these FEUP talks. I want to thank the presence of all, and in particular SaltPay, for sharing experiences and important information for our career engineers. Good week and thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes.